Hey guys, this is Comic Uno and Comic Frontline, and today I'm doing Comic Uno episode 55, and that's the show where I review all the comics I read this week in one show. This week I have 17 comics, 1 digital, all the rest printed, so let's get started. We're going to worst pick of the week to best pick of the week. So what was my worst pick of the week? Number 17 was Grayson, issue 1. This was a series I was really skeptical about. I love Dick Grayson. I think he's an awesome character. And I didn't know what direction they were going with Dick Grayson once they killed him. And they want to make him a spy now. So I was very skeptical about the series. But at the same time, I was excited. Alright, new direction for Dick Grayson. This could be kind of cool. But this just felt like a generic spy issue. It didn't feel like Dick Grayson. That was my biggest disappointment. No contradiction is mine. Am I doing the right thing? No Dick Grayson at all here. It's just this blank guy. Then Helena Bernelli, there's like 2 of them now. It's very confusing. And then the cliffhanger is okay. The cliffhanger is interesting where we get to see is the leader of Spiral wants to know all these superheroes' secret identities. I guess because he knows Dick Grayson's, he wants to know Batman, he wants to know Cyborg, which he already knows those characters. He wants to know Batgirl. So that was an interesting cliffhanger, but the rest of the issue was just kind of generic. And I'm afraid that's what the whole series is going to be about. Art was pretty good. Dick Grayson's hair looked a little weird at times. That was mostly because of the wind going in his hair. Looked a little weird. Art's pretty good though, overall. I thought it was good. I gotta give this 2 stars though. The story just felt really generic, and for Dick Grayson's series, I hope it doesn't really go in this direction it started with. We'll see where it goes. I hope we get to see a little bit more of Dick Grayson's voice in the next issue. I'll be sticking around for a couple more issues because I just don't want to let go of a Dick Grayson series, but I gotta see where it goes. I don't know. I was really disappointed with this one. I gave that 2 stars. So number 16 is Original Sin, Thor and Loki, the 10th Realm, issue 1. So all the highlighted issues of the title for this video are the bottom. Did not expect that because I actually come up with the title before I even read the comics. But yeah, this is an issue I was actually looking forward to reading. I wanted to see how Angela is going to be the sister of Thor and Loki. How is the story going to go? And for me, this is just not my cup of tea. I've never been a big Thor fan, and I was like, let me get this because Angela's the sister. I've been reading Guardians of the Galaxy, and I need to see what they're doing with Angela. So I wanted to get this issue, but again, the dialogue, it's just not my thing, and that's why I really couldn't get in the issue. It wasn't a bad issue. It's just for my countdown, Comic Uno's countdown, I had to put this lower just because I wasn't entertained with it. And I know I'm not going to get the next issue because I just felt bored with the dialogue and not much was going on. Wanted to see a little bit more Angela, but for people that love Thor, this is going to affect people that are reading Thor. And if you like it, I think you're going to like this issue. Just for me, I didn't particularly love it just because I'm not a big Thor fan. Alright, so I'm going to give that 3 stars, and now we're up to number 15. And that is Batman Eternal, issue 14. Okay issue. I think the previous issues have been a little bit better for Batman Eternal. And with this, you get to see a lot more villain interaction, which I'm not a total big fan of. And the villain interaction with this issue is a little boring. But we do get to see a little bit more into different characters. Really seeing their morals of characters, like the new Lieutenant and Commissioner Gordon. That's what I really enjoyed with this issue. I think there are small parts in this issue where we get to see that highlighted. The new lieutenant, you thought he was a hero, but he's okay with people dying. Jim Gordon wanted to escape in jail. So these little things, these little details about these 2 characters really made the issue for me. Again, they weren't big things of this issue, but they were interesting things. So I'm going to give this 3 stars because, yeah, they weren't highlighted that much in the issue, but I did enjoy it. And I'm leaning more towards picking up for Batman Eternal. I did enjoy it, but I have enjoyed more issues in the past. And also the art is becoming a little bit more consistent. This is definitely my favorite art for Batman Eternal so far. And this is, I think, the first issue we had this style art also. So, hopefully we get to see a little bit more of that style of art for the future Batman Eternal issues. Alright, so number 14 is Future's End, issue 10. So yes, one thing I love doing each week, which one's going to be better, Future's End or Batman Eternal? Usually Batman Eternal wins because I just like Batman Eternal story a little bit more, but with Future's End, I actually had a little bit better of a time at Future's End this week. I thought there was more intriguing story, art again is very consistent for the series, but again, they're trying to juggle like 7 stories in one issue, and that's going to be a big problem throughout the series unless they change it. Which they didn't do towards the beginning of the series. They actually stayed like 3 stories like a normal comic, but they've been doing 7 each issue. Since I would say after the Green Arrow funeral. So with this issue, we got some interesting story with like a really awkward moment between Lois and Superman, seeming that they had a relationship, but whatever happened with Superman now, Lois is a little pissed off at him. I think we have an interesting story with this other Batman character. We see that Tim interacts with this other Bat Family character. I don't know if it's Jason just because of the art. I don't know if it's Jason or Damian. But I thought that was, or a new character. I thought that was interesting. We got to see a little bit more Batman. What else do I think was interesting with this story? Definitely the Batman parts. Also the cliffhanger, getting a little bit more of Earth 2. We get to see where Barda's been. She's been in the regular universe, and we have seen her in Earth 2. And she has to go back in costume because this girl, Miko, maybe it's Green Arrow's sister, if you want to connect it to the Green Arrow series. I don't think it is, but her name's Amiko, so who knows, wants Barda back. So I thought that was a really interesting Earth 2 connection. That's what really, I think, made Future's End a little better than Batman Eternal, that there's more story to say, oh, let me think about that. How is Barda connected to Future's End? Why is there this awkward relationship between Superman and Lois Lane? Who is the person that walked into, what is it, the Lucky Duck or something, wherever Tim Drake's bar is? So there's definitely more questions with this issue that I enjoyed, and it makes it more for the long run. So, yeah, there are some boring parts. That's why it is a little lower. We still have Grifter, where his story is like going nowhere with Deathstroke. Hawkman, I'm not really too interested in. So yeah, you still got your boring stories. But there's some intriguing questions that are asked here too. So I'm going to give this 3 stars. And I gotta say, I'm leaning more towards pick this one up. I thought it was pretty interesting. Alright. So, next is number 13, which is a Comic Frontline exclusive. And that's Detective Comics issue 33. I can see why people are saying that Detective Comics, Buccellato and Manapool kind of have to find their footing a little bit more in. With Flash, every issue was a hit. Yeah, really hit. Every issue was great. You couldn't wait for the next one. With Detective Comics, I feel like, again, Buccellato and Manapool are just trying to find out what are they trying to say about Batman. And I think that's what Icarus is all about. They're trying to get more of a point of view of Bullock and the police station. And again, a lot of the gang war stuff, we still have stuff with drugs, with Icarus and all that. We have this character, Elena, and the daughter, that we're being highlighted in the Detective Comics. Well, we see more of the daughter throughout the series. After Icarus, they're trying to build a supporting cast. So that's why it's a little shifty, this series, because they're trying to find their footing. There's interesting topics. I love what they're going on with Bullock. I like they're giving him a little bit more character development in the New 52. So yeah, I like the issue, but I can't say it's explosive either, because not lots happening with this issue. I don't think the story really progressed that much for me to care about Icarus. But Francis Manapool's art is still amazing. I love his artwork, and I can't wait to see once they do find out what they want to say with Batman. I can't wait to see that explosive story arc, because even Flash took a little while to build up. So really looking forward to see more of their run with Detective Comics, but this was just an okay issue, and I'm excited to see where Icarus is going to conclude and where Detective Comics is going to go. So I'm going to give this 3.5 stars. Alright, so number 12 is Superior Foes to Spider-Man, issue 13. This issue is a little bit lower because it's been delayed for so long. I mean, not as long as freaking Hawkeye. I've been complaining about that. Hawkeye has not been out for months, and I'm really kind of pissed by that. But Superior Foes has been delayed a little bit, and it's kind of similar to Hawkeye, the series. But it's cool to see it back on track. I think it's because of Superior Spider-Man being canceled. They're trying to find out where the series is going. But I had fun with the story. It's still, you know, dealing with the same story arc with Silvio's head, this painting, but the character interactions are still a lot of fun. Shocker is trying to find his own way. Boomerang is still leader, but do people trust him? So it's some really cool character interactions with this issue. Still really great art. I think it fits the series really well. So for the characters, I think this was an interesting story, but the story does need, the actual story arc has to progress a little. I'm kind of tired of Sylvio's head. I want to see the next thing they want to do, because there's a lot sitting around with this series, because it is more of a comedy series than, oh, look at what just happened to the superior foes, or, you know, the Sinister Six, where there's not actually 6 members. But there's actually a lot of funny moments here too, so I like the issue. I think it's worth picking up. I'm going to give it 3.5 stars, but I have read better for Superior Foes of Spider-Man, and hopefully the next issue is not as delayed. But I think this story arc is starting to conclude, so I'm happy to see that. Just because it's been going on for so long. Alright, so number 11 is All New X-Men issue 29. Yeah, this is actually a lot lower than I expected, because All New X-Men is usually on the top, because their character interactions in this series are great. But ever since we had Battle of the Atom, the character interactions and the character relationships have been pushed to the side. I think that's why a lot of people haven't been having All New X-Men on their top of their list, is because that was the best thing about the series, and we haven't really had a true great character interaction issue in a while, and that's the disappointing thing. And then Battle of the Atom, it's been going on forever. And even this issue has an open-ended question of, wait, Charles Xavier's son might be back. And of course, one of my complaints that I talked about in my in-depth review, there's cliffhanger of a love romance between X-23 and Angel. So I actually like pretty much a lot of this issue, because the Battle of the Atom stuff being concluded was fun. Seeing that Charles Xavier and Reyes were the only true villains with this whole story arc, because the future X-Men were being controlled for years from Charles Xavier's son. So I liked that idea, I really did, and I thought most of the issue was fun. Even though we didn't get the character interactions we want for this series, it still was a fun issue. But then we got to the end, where Charles Xavier, it really open-ended that he could come back. His son could come back, and I just want to be done with Battle of the Atom. This has been an open-ended question. This is actually the open-ended ending, if that makes sense. That, you know, this is not Battle of the Atom. Battle of the Atom ended, and then they continued it again, and they're going to continue it again? I don't know. I was a little skeptical about that. And then the love romance thing, as much as I love, you know, romance stuff, there's a little bit too much, too much of it in All New X-Men. We got X-23, who doesn't even, like, go in relationships that often. She's more of a lone wolf. She's like Wolverine, who is rarely in a relationship, and when he is, that's important. But X-23 just going randomly with Angel felt a little off. And then we have love triangles. I think hold off on the romance. Focus on where you want to take the first-class X-Men. Kitty Pryde has hardly been in this issue, hardly spotlighted. That's really disappointing as a Kitty Pryde fan, and it's kind of her series. I think we can all agree with that. It's the first-class X-Men and Kitty Pryde. It's her series. She's the leader of the group. And you hardly have seen Kitty Pryde at all throughout this whole story arc. So that's a little disappointing. Art's pretty good, but yeah, it's really contradicted with this issue. So I'm going to give it 3.5 stars because it has a good story, but I just don't know what direction it's going. I really hope we can get back to what All New X-Men's all been about. Alright, so number 10 we're up to, and that is Justice League United, issue 3. And this is more of a point A to point B issue. That's why it's a little lower. Doesn't mean I didn't have fun with this issue, because I really did. There's some really great interactions between Green Arrow and Animal Man. I think that's something I'm going to really enjoy throughout Justice League United. But most of the issue is trying to get this baby, trying to get off this planet and save Elena. And that's it. That's really going on. There's good interactions, but it's point A, point B issue. That's honestly all I have to say about Justice League United. There could have been more. The story arc's going to end, I think, next issue, so it was just more of a build-up issue. And also, with the end, we got a big cliffhanger of Hawkman dying, which, you know, he's going to probably come back to life. That's pretty much what his character is. He could come back to life. So, it used to be with Hawkgirl. Hawkgirl doesn't really exist, so maybe we'll see Hawkgirl. Who knows? That is definitely wishful thinking. Well, you never know, though, because they're supposed to, like, come back to life together. So that's what's going on with Justice League United. Not too much, you know, that cliffhanger definitely, it's Hawkman. He's going to come back to life. That's pretty much his character. I don't know if that changes in New 52, but that's his character. So yeah, I thought this issue was good. I'm going to give it 3.5 stars. Art's pretty good, but it didn't blow my mind. Again, I think the next issue will probably do a little better, but there's some fun interactions that I think you should pick it up for. Alright, so now we're up to number 9. Yes, number 9, which is Captain Marvel, issue 5. Yeah, this is another kind of point A to point B issue. A little less than Justice League United. That was a really build-up issue, more than Captain Marvel. But Captain Marvel is kind of shushed away. The planet she's trying to protect is pretty much being taken over by Spartix, and Spartix, and that's the father of Star-Lord, so we're getting the connection of Guardians of the Galaxy. And she's like, you know what, I'm going to help them anyways, and I'm going to try to defeat Spartix. So that's what Captain Marvel's doing, and it's really the build-up to that and to the final battle. They're trying to connect Captain Marvel more to Guardians of the Galaxy. They do it better here than they are in Guardians of the Galaxy, because Captain Marvel's hardly been in Guardians of the Galaxy, hardly even introduced into the series. So I thought it was a little weird how they introduced Venom and Captain Marvel. Like, they really did not organically go into that team. I think they're doing it more in Captain Marvel, so I think that's pretty interesting. Seeing more Guardians of the Galaxy related stories in this series. But yeah, good issue. I like the art. Almost 4 stars, and it's not the best Captain Marvel issue I read, but it's definitely a build up to this big fight she's probably going to end up having by the end of the story arc. So, cool issue. Going to give it 3.5 stars. Alright, so now we're up to number 8, which is Robyn Hood Legend, issue 5. This is the last issue to the miniseries. We're going to get an ongoing series with Robyn Hood the fall time. I think it's like September, October. We're going to get a miniseries where Robyn Hood's actually going to be in the modern world. More in the modern world than the medieval magical world. This is pretty much the end to that magical world. Which I really like. I think I really like Robyn Hood a little bit more in the modern world. I'm not a big medieval fan, so kind of glad to get out of there, but there's some really interesting stories. She really leaves the villain that she had in her first miniseries and defeats him in a way with this issue and says goodbye to the person that she loved, Will Scarlet. So I thought it was a really touching issue to Robyn Hood's character, and for her character and for the series, I thought it was a really good ending. It got me excited for the ongoing series. It was a good ending. I don't know if they promoted the ongoing series in the end, but I think they should have, because there is an ongoing series that's going to happen. So yeah, I'm excited to see where they go. They brought one of the characters that's been developing in the miniseries to the ongoing series, and she's truly becoming a Robyn Hood character. Even though she was, very hinted referencing Robyn Hood and the Legend, she really is gonna steal from the poor, or steal from the rich and give it to the poor. That's gonna be a main subject in the ongoing. And I think she's finally become Robyn Hood, the Legend that we all know, after this series, after she lost her love. I'm sure maybe we'll get some other Will story, maybe he'll come back, but I don't know. I did like this issue. I'm going to give it 4 stars. That was very solid, good art, and a really good ending for Robyn Hood herself. Alright, so number 7 we're up to, and that is Amazing Spider-Man, issue 1.3. This is the 0 year of Spider-Man. And I thought this was a very solid issue. I liked the issue a lot. I think this might be a better trade read, but I'm okay reading it single issue because I kind of read everything single issue. That's just what I like reading more. But if you're more of a trade reader and you believe, or you're a mixed trade reader and single issue reader, you might want to wait for this for the trade. It's probably a better read just because it's a 5-issue miniseries that really is 0 year of Spider-Man. But what I like about the series is that you get to see a modern spin on Spider-Man, and really something I haven't seen, having this new character. I think his name is Slater or something like that. It starts with an S, Scatter. let me see if I get his name. Clash. Where the hell did I get Slater? And maybe I'm watching Saved by the Bell. His name is Clash. And he's this new person that's kind of reminds me of Amazing Spider-Man 2. I don't want to be reminded of the movie, but it reminds me of Amazing Spider-Man 2, where he worshipped Spider-Man's feet and actually created Spider-Man, and now he wants to defeat Spider-Man. I actually think they do it really a lot of justice here, because you learn a lot more about Clash's character, and you go into Clash's mind with this issue. So it's really an origin story of Clash and Spider-Man. What happens to Clash? Why haven't we seen Clash? Will he die? Is this what makes Spider-Man Spider-Man? So it's cool to see the transition of the wrestler of Spider-Man to Spider-Man himself. So I've been having a lot of fun with it. The Aunt May interactions were great this issue too. This is definitely not a misleading cover. Really solid issue, and I can't wait to see where it goes. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I think it's a fun mini-series. Alright, number 6 is Avengers Undercover, issue 7. The series will be ending very soon, which I'm upset, because this is, if you're a Runaways fan, this is like your Runaways stories you can get. You really can't get Runaways anywhere else, so I don't know what's going to happen next. Maybe we'll get a Runaway series. That'd be great. We've been just asking that for years. But if you're a big Runaways fan, you're going to really like this issue, especially because you get a lot of Nico, Chase, and Alex interaction. It's a really Nico-based issue, where Nico's been this goody two-shoes, and her friend gets hurt, which is Chase. Chase is in a coma, and she realizes she lost everything because she was trying to be good. She ran away from her parents because her parents are evil, and she wanted to be a good person. And she sees that being a good person is not the right thing to do. So she jumps into Alex's arms and says, you know what, I'm going to be bad for once. Because she still does love Alex, I guess, in certain respects. She feels guilty that she killed Alex in a way. And you really get that from this issue. Even if you didn't read Runaways, I think you get that from this issue. I think you get obviously a lot more from this issue if you read Runaways in the past, but it's still a great issue if you just read Murder World and you like Nico's character. So really I enjoyed this issue, and it's a shame. This is a great under-the-radar series, Avengers Undercover, a great young hero series. And also you get to see a great cliffhanger, spoiler alert, where Arcade is still alive talking to Cammy in a jail cell. So Arcade is still alive, and I'm guessing that'll be the final battle with Arcade after Avengers Undercover is over. Which, again, is a shame that's ending so soon. But hopefully they have another plan for Avengers Undercover or these young heroes. So I'm going to give it 4 stars. Again, if you're a Runaways fan, you really need to get this. I'm a big Runaways fan, so I was happy to get this, and glad to see Alex again, in this way at least. So yeah, cool issue. Alright, so now we're up to number 5. Top 5, Smallville Lantern, issue 4. Yeah, Smallville Lantern's a little lower than I expected. It's been my pick of the week for like 2 months in a row. But this was a really cool conclusion. I don't think it was as epic as last issue. There's definitely more epic things happening last issue, where all the rings are going to the villains. It felt more epic last issue. But this is a great conclusion. We get to see Green Arrow in action, Superman defeat Parallax, and Lex Luthor might be creating a villain team. So there's some just really great character interactions between everybody, which is what I love about Smallville. I think they really separate all the characters really well and give them shining moments. Chloe, Oliver, Lois, Clark, Tess, all these characters, you get some really great shining moments. And I thought it was a good conclusion to Lantern. Again, I think there's been better issues of Lantern that felt more epic, but this is still a really good conclusion. You see where the Green Lanterns are going in the Smallville universe, and Jon Stewart's more of the leader, so if you're a Jon Stewart fan, maybe a Justice League cartoon fan, you're going to really enjoy this. So maybe in a future story arc we'll find out what happened to Hal, since Parallax has been broken. I think he was being controlled by Parallax in the past in the Smallville universe, so looking forward to more Smallville. Really, I thought this was a really solid issue, and Smallville Lantern in general was a really great story arc. So if you didn't read Smallville Lantern, read it. It was really great. So looking forward to the next story arc for Smallville. Alright, so number 4 is the 100th anniversary for Spider-Man. Fantastic Four's 100th anniversary was my worst pick of the week last week, and this week my 100th anniversary Spider-Man issue is number 4. It's in the top 5, which I think is great. It just means that Fantastic Four was just a bad issue. It doesn't mean this 100th anniversary event is bad. I thought this was really cool because I think it does what we wanted with this 100th anniversary. It's supposed to be 25 years in the future, a random story arc. It's just showing you what Marvel could be 25 years in the future. And I think I actually knew that with this issue more than I did with Fantastic Four. I was very confused of what they were doing with Fantastic Four. But with Spider-Man, we get to see some really interesting story. Aunt May's passed away. How does Spider-Man deal with that? Kingpin knows who Peter is. He knows that he's Spider-Man, so does people know that Peter is Spider-Man? He's lost Mary Jane once again. Kingpin is taking control of Venom. And I know that Venom is now a science experiment instead, but they didn't really highlight on that much, so I didn't mind. It wasn't the whole issue where it could have really collapsed this issue. If the whole issue is about, oh my god, it's a science experiment, but it wasn't truly about Venom. It was really about Peter in the future. And society in the future also, of how people don't think anymore because everything is being done for them. No one drives cars in the future, and that's, I think, a really possible future. So I think that's really interesting, taking society's future in a way that, again, Fantastic Four did not do, but Spider-Man did. So I really enjoyed it. I think some of the facial expressions are very stylized, but I liked it. I thought the art was pretty good. It fit the story, and overall, I thought it was a really solid issue. I recommend this. I thought this was a really fun one-shot, and I'm going to give X-Men a try, I think, next week. So I'm going to give X-Men a try also. Hopefully that it's as good as Spider-Man, maybe even better, but not as bad as Fantastic Four. So I'm going to give this 4 stars. I was really shocked by this, and I had a lot of fun with the issue. Alright, so number 3 is Daredevil, issue 5. This felt a little bit more like a one-shot than what I expected. I felt that this issue was going to be more about what Foggy's doing in the moment than going back to how Foggy faked his death. And I think that's why this didn't get higher as, like, number 1 pick. I think if this was Foggy, what he's doing now, I think this could have been my pick of the week, but since it was just a one-shot of how he faked his death, I liked it, don't get me wrong, it's in my top 3. I thought this was a really solid issue. Of course, the art is wonderful, the dialogue is great, and you get to see that Matt Murdock really controls Foggy's life. And even Foggy says that, it's like, he controls my life, you probably want to punch him every hour, but he's my best friend, and I love that he cares about me. So it really highlights Foggy's and Matt's relationship and how everyone knows that Matt's Daredevil. It really knows that he's Daredevil. So I like the issue. I thought it was very solid, but I think it could have done more if we saw Foggy in the future because it felt very one-shotty to me. But I like the issue. Really solid. I'm going to give it 4 stars. Alright, so number 2 is Fantastic Four, issue 7. The only disappointment really is that this cover is very misleading. Sue Storm's not in this issue. It's all about original sin of Thing and Johnny Storm. And what I liked about this issue a lot and why it came to number 2 was, yeah, we got the original sin story, which is Johnny really destroyed Thing's chance of having, or Ben's chance of having a normal life. And you got to see the raw emotion in this issue, which is what I really enjoyed. You get to see Ben and Johnny really go head to head, and Johnny being really sorry about it, but Ben obviously gonna forgive Johnny, but you see that, yeah, Ben did not accept himself as much as being the Thing, but just put a happy face for Reed. So it just says more of Thing's personality, still not loving being the Thing, even though he's been the Thing for so many years. So as a Fantastic Four fan, I really liked what they did here. It wasn't really about the past story, but it was really the reaction to the past story, where I think other original sin tie-ins are more like, oh, well, this happened, she's my sister, she got bit by a spider, I defeated this person. This was more about the reaction to that. It's not the actual story, and I think a lot of the other ones are just retelling that story. Or even the next one, I think Daredevil is going to have a story about his mother, so that's probably going to be more about the story than how Daredevil reacts to his mother. So I really liked this story. I thought the art was great. The facial expressions were great here, again with the Thing. Wonderful. So I really liked this issue. Also, we have a really good cliffhanger, too. The cliffhanger of why can't I think of her name right now? Ben's girlfriend, being kidnapped by her stepfather and looking like Ben killed the stepfather. So will Alicia be happy about this, and will she see him as a monster not even once again, because Alicia never really saw him as a monster, but will she see him as a monster if she killed the stepfather? I thought that was really interesting. Great cliffhanger just for the Fantastic Four series, not just for the original Sin tie-in. I just thought the balance for the original Sin tie-in and actual story was great for this issue. So I'm going to give this 4.5 stars. I really did enjoy this issue. Alright, so number 1 was Batgirl, issue 33. I'm going to say nothing really shout out pick of the week for me this week. There was a lot of shifting of issues. I was like, should I do this? There was nothing that really shouted out pick of the week. But what I enjoyed the most was Batgirl as a Barbara Gordon fan, because we get to see something that a lot of pre-New 52 fans are probably going to be excited about. The interaction between Black Canary, Huntress, and Barbara. You don't want a question of how the hell they even are interacting with each other, because I don't know why they are. I don't really know who this current Huntress is. Is it the one from Earth 2? Is this Helena Bernelli from Grayson? I don't know. But she felt very pre-New 52 Helena Bernelli / Huntress. And the interactions were great. You get to see Batgirl being mean, being angry and punching Huntress and being like, I'm sorry, I was just pissed off, and Black Canary pushing her away. The 3 interactions of them kind of meeting for the first time was great. And then the Nightfall story really concluding is great to see also, because that's a story that's been happening since like the first story arc, second story arc of Batgirl, and that's actually concluding, and Barbara's gonna bring a task force and try to defeat Nightfall. So I thought that was a great conclusion. I did talk about my in-depth review that I'm a little skeptical of what's going on with the new Batgirl creative team. They're really changing Barbara's character than what Gail Simone built Barbara to be. So I'm a little skeptical about it, still excited about it at the same time, but we'll have to see how this Batgirl story arc really ends, because it's going to be ending very soon. In October, we're going to have our new creative team, so we only have like 2 more months of Batgirl. Of Gail Simone's Batgirl. So if you want a Birds of Prey moment, read this issue. And I think that's what really made the issue for me. It's just seeing the 3 of them together again. Art was really good. Facial expressions were great. So that was my pick of the week. Please tell me in the comments below what you thought. Was your pick of the week, worst pick of the week, all the comics I talked about. What did you think? Hope you guys enjoyed. Of course, I'll have another Comic Uno episode next week. So I will see you guys later. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter for Comic Uno and their end situations. And don't forget to like my Facebook page. This is Comic Frontline Comic Uno. And I will see you guys later. Bye.